Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited for today's video because it's a little bit different than the normal planner, goal-getting, inspirational stuff that we do around here. And I'm going to talk about the city that I live in, which is New York City. I recently celebrated 6 years. 6! I cannot believe that I have lived in New York City for 6 years, over 6 years at this point. And I posted on Instagram talking about how excited I was and how much I loved and sometimes didn't love living here. And there were a ton of comments about so many of you coming to visit in the upcoming year or in the future, and you wanted all kinds of recommendations. And so I decided, in honor of my New York anniversary, in honor of my 6-year New York anniversary, I would tell you the 6 things that I love about living in New York and throw in some recommendations associated with those as well. So without further ado, here are 6 things that I love about living in New York. So the first one is the thing that I will miss the most when I leave New York City, and that is public transportation. I don't like driving. I don't know. I don't like driving. I don't like feeling like I can't multitask. That's so bad because multitasking is not necessarily a good thing. It's something I've never really enjoyed doing. And so when I moved to a city that I didn't need to own a car and I didn't need to drive anywhere because there is public transportation, good public transportation to get me pretty much everywhere I need to go, I was like, this is the city for me because I love it. I love that I can get pretty much anywhere I need to go with the swipe of my Metro card, and it's usually much faster than taking a cab. I mean, that doesn't apply at like 2 in the morning, but most of the time it is faster than taking a cab. It is cheaper than taking a cab. It's one of those like just New York things. And so if you are coming to visit New York, I highly recommend that you take public transportation for all of the reasons that I just said, because it's usually cheaper and it's usually faster, especially like during the busy days. I mean, early in the morning, late at night, that might be different, but for the most part, it's going to be your fastest option. So I highly recommend taking public transportation. The number one app that I would tell you to download in order to help you with that public transportation. Now, you can do it on Google Maps. Like Google Maps has a public transportation option. And if I don't necessarily care about how long it's going to take me to get there, I will sometimes use Google Maps, but I will tell you that Google Maps is not as good about knowing really how long it's going to take. They always have like the ideal scenario. It's never that perfect. Even though, I mean, I love public transportation, but it's never that perfect. So Google Maps usually underestimates the amount of time it's going to take. Also, they're not as good about knowing the specific changes when there's like construction going on or a route is changed for whatever reason. They will have like a little notification that says, oh, route may be different due to construction, but they don't know what it is specifically. So I recommend an app called Citymapper. That is the app I will go to if I really have no idea how to get there and I want it to give me the best route. And it is very good about estimating how long it's going to take. It tells you what part of the subway to get on to make the process easier. So should you be standing towards the front? Should you stand in the middle? Or should you stand towards the back? It gives you other options as well. Like if you don't want to walk as much, it gives you less walking options. Those usually involve the bus, by the way, which is also good. It doesn't save you the time thing because it has to sit in traffic, but buses can be great too because you can see things. My grandmother always loved taking the bus when she traveled so that she could see the cities that she was in while she was traveling. They also have like the subway car combo option on there, which sounds kind of crazy, and it's like, why would I do that? But let me give you an example. So the airport, LaGuardia, is in Queens, and from my apartment, I pretty much always just take a cab. The only way to get to LaGuardia right now is by bus, and so I might as well take a cab. It's gonna take me like the same amount of time. Now it's cheaper to take the bus, but then I don't have to take my suitcase on the bus. But coming from my office, it's a lot further, and so a cab, A, takes a lot longer, and B, is so expensive. So what I will typically do, depending on the size of my suitcase, if I just have like a carry-on, I will take the subway to as close as I can get to the airport and then take a cab or an Uber from that point to the airport. It's a lot less expensive and it's usually a lot faster than just doing, honestly, one or the other. I'm gonna bake into this reason where I think you should stay. I had a lot of questions on, do I have hotel recommendations or where would you recommend I stay? And I don't have any specific hotel recommendations. The biggest thing I can just recommend from my parents' experience staying in hotels here is just get your points. There's plenty of Hiltons and Marriotts and Westin. Just stay at the one that get your points in and stay at a Midtown location, either Midtown West or Midtown East. If you're thinking about doing more like Broadway music scene type things, I would stay in Midtown West. If you're thinking about doing really more touristy, other tourist attractions, so the 9/11, museums, maybe a Yankees game, if you're trying to go to Brooklyn or Queens, I would stay in Midtown East. It's so central. You're going to be able to get to all the subways very easily. That would be my neighborhood recommendation for where you stay. That's where my parents always stay, is in Midtown East, and they just stay at a Marriott and get their Marriott points. Okay, the second one, which is probably, again, the next most asked question in terms of when someone's coming to visit New York, and that is, where should I go to eat? And that is my second favorite thing about New York, is just the vast number of restaurants in this city. You could eat somewhere new for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for forever, I don't know how long, and like never have to try somewhere new. Like, there are that many places to eat, and they're always changing, which is another reason you could eat and eat and eat and drink and drink and drink and never hit any of the same places twice. So I'm going to give you some of my top recommendations. If you need a recommendation for something very like a specific type of food that you want to try while you're here, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to give you a recommendation for that. But I'm going to tell you just like my general top, and we could be here forever if I told you like all the places that I love to eat here. So I usually get asked about pizza. The pizza place I'd recommend is actually near Times Square, which is sort of crazy because normally it's like, that's super touristy, but I promise it is the best pizza. They do not take reservations, so you just have to get there. If you're seeing a show, I recommend getting there maybe like 5:30. You should get sat pretty quickly, and then you'll be out in time for your show. And it is called Don Antonio's. And again, it's over near Times Square. It's at 50th and 8th, and the pizza's amazing. It's just like classic New York pizza. And according to my stepmom, they have amazing gluten-free crust. I don't do gluten-free crust, but they have amazing salads, amazing pizza, and just like a cool atmosphere. And it's close to Times Square, so if you're seeing a show, it's perfect. The next thing that I feel like always gets asked about is Italian food, and so I have two recommendations. If you want to get classic Italian in Little Italy, don't succumb to the guys on the street. They will pull you in, and some of those places are good, don't get me wrong, but I've definitely gotten pulled in, and the places aren't as good. The place that I love is called Paseano's. Their pasta is to die for. And they basically let you mix and match any type of pasta that you could possibly want on the menu. Like, my brother was like, there's not this specific, like, it was like shrimp fettuccine. They didn't have that on the menu. They had like chicken fettuccine, and then they had like shrimp something else. And I was like, trust me, if you just order fettuccine. And he wanted a different kind of noodle too. He didn't want fettuccine noodles. He wanted like penne with fettuccine sauce and shrimp. I was like, just order it. Like, they will make it for you. I usually get the gnocchi bolognese. Their gnocchi is like just melt in your mouth. It is amazing. And they do take reservations, although it's pretty big. And so if you just want to like wander upon, and if you're going in the summer, you want to sit outside. That's like, it's so much fun to sit outside in Little Italy and watch all the people walk by. That would be my recommendation if you want to do Little Italy. If you're willing to travel a little bit, still within Manhattan, but all the way up at 123rd Street, my actual favorite Italian place in the city is called Max Soha. It is at 123rd in Amsterdam, so like basically Harlem, but amazing. Just homemade mom and pop. It's cash only, but so worth it. Like, so worth it. I couldn't recommend it more. When I was an intern, I lived like right up there, a block away, and we went there probably at least once a week when we were interns. Okay, another place that I have to recommend food-wise is just my favorite brunch place in the city. Brunch is like a very classic New York thing to do as well, like on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm actually taking my mom tomorrow, like the day after this video goes live. And it is called Calle Ocho. It is in the Upper West Side, and they do an all-you-can-drink sangria brunch that comes with your entree purchase. It's dangerous. It's delicious. It's Spanish food, so it's not Mexican. It's Spanish food, and the food's amazing. I've also been for dinner, and it's good. It's great. I'm not going to go back because there's so many other options in the city, but I do go back for brunch. And that is just because I don't really like bubbles. I'm not a bubble person. I don't like carbonation. So when all the like bottomless mimosas are the brunch thing to do, I'm like, can I get something else? So I love that this is sangria. They have white and red. They actually have 8 different options. Oh, I'm so excited to go with my mom. It's so good. But that place, you have to make reservations for brunch, and really you have to make them pretty far in advance. I got lucky with my mom, and I got 12:30, which is like barely brunch. They open at noon, by the way. So it's noon to 4 is their brunch, and 12:30 reservations for the two of us. I got them on like a week before. The weekend before is when I booked it. Once I knew what time the Cowboys were playing, I booked the brunch. And I was surprised that there was still availability. My options were 2:30 or like 3:15, or 12:30 or 3:15. Like, those are the only options. So just if you know you want to do some sort of brunch while you're here, I just recommend booking that place in advance. Whew, okay, I'm babbling. I thought this was gonna be a much quicker video, and I feel like I just keep talking about how much I love New York. Okay, so number 3 reason that I love New York, and I'm sure this is top on Sam's list too, and that is Broadway. Not that you can't see other great theater in other cities. I mean, the Broadway tours are incredible. The theater, Broadway in Chicago, is amazing, but nothing quite beats seeing a show that's actually on Broadway. I can't recommend that enough, seeing like an actual Broadway show. If you appreciate theater or there's a show that you really love, like just do it. 2 ways to get discount tickets if you're interested in discount tickets. The first one, which you've probably heard of, is the TKTS booth that's in Times Square, and they open at 4 o'clock when there's just a night show, and then they open, I think, at 10 or 11. I feel like I should know that. For a matinee, I've never gone for a matinee show. And the line's usually pretty long. I recommend getting there 30 minutes to an hour before they open, depending on how cold it is outside and how badly you want to have good tickets. And then when you get to the front, just kind of have like your top 3 and know how many tickets you want. Know if you're willing to split up. Do you really want to be sitting together? Are you okay not sitting together? And just kind of have that in your brain. And for the most part, it's like 30, 40, sometimes 50% off. Great deals, usually great seats that they're trying to fill, like in the orchestra. Like we've got some really amazing deals. It's just, you don't know until that day that you're going to see it. So if you want to see a very specific show, don't do that. Buy them in advance. If you just want to see Broadway and you're willing to just sort of take the risk and just see whatever is available, then I would do that. They also have an app that you can download so that you can just see what is available and check it a couple days before you go, just to see, get a feel for what's going to be there when you're there. It's not the same list every day, so just because something's on the app one day doesn't mean it's going to be there the next day, but just so you can get an idea. The other place I would recommend going to buy discount tickets is called TodayTix. It's a website. The discount and the amount of time in advance that you can buy them varies greatly for different shows. Like for some shows, I've seen them where they'll sell them like months in advance, and you can buy them at a discount that far in advance. Sometimes you have to wait until like a month or even a couple of weeks before the show. And then sometimes the discount is like 50% and it's great. And then sometimes the discount's not all that much. So again, that website is also going to be a hit or miss. If you want to see a specific show, I would check there first. And if they don't have it, then just go buy it at the box office. But if you are open to other things, but you want to have it booked in advance, you don't want to go to the TKTS booth, then check out that website before you go. If you want to see a show or you want to see theater, but you're not totally committed or sold on paying and seeing an actual Broadway show, Off-Broadway is a great option. The only difference between Broadway and Off-Broadway is the size of the theater, the number of seats in the theater. Now, yes, what has come with that over time is the amount of money that gets put into a show, because obviously if there's less seats, they can get less revenue and they're going to put less money into it. But Off-Broadway shows are also just as incredible as Broadway shows. Go see a comedy show. There's a lot of great comedy in New York, or go see an improv show. I can't recommend the People's Improv Theater enough. Everything I've ever seen there, I've laughed at. And they have nice quick shows. So if you're not looking to like waste is a bad word, you're not wasting your time. But if you're not looking to spend 3 hours seeing theater, they have usually 1 hour shows at the Improv Theater. So just something I'd recommend. Okay, number 4. The 4th thing that I love about New York is how many things are filmed here. I love watching movies and TV shows that were filmed in New York. I just love watching and looking and being like, oh, I know where that is. Or, oh my gosh, I know where that is. It's really cool. And then it's cool when you're walking around the city and you see signs for oh, they're going to be filming this here. Recently they were filming that show Billions, and they were filming Orange is the New Black, both right by my office. People love to film right by my office. I think it's because you can get the park, Madison Square Park is right there. You can get a shot of the Empire State Building, and you can get just streets, New York streets, all kind of within this little bubble. So I think that's why people film a lot there. I don't know. I could totally be making that up. But they have all kinds of stuff. So if you want to see them actually filming something, there's a website. I'll link it below, and you can go see what's being filmed where in New York, and go and watch them being filmed and go stalk the people. Or the other thing that I would highly recommend that is related to filming in New York are movie and TV tours. So there is this one tour company they just do an incredible job. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the tickets are not inexpensive. For a tour, they're relatively pricey tickets, but oh, so worth it. You're in an air-conditioned bus. being bussed around New York City, and they have TVs on the bus that will show clips of the movie or the TV show before you see the actual spot. So it's like, oh, remember this? Here it is. They actually have 4. One I haven't done, which is the walking tour of Central Park filming sites. I have not done that one yet, so I can't recommend it, but it's the same company, and so I would think it's good, although obviously you're not in a bus, it's a walking tour. But the 3 bus tours that I have done are the general film and movie tour. So they take you to like general sites. So they take you by the plaza, from Eloise at the plaza, and they take you by some classic places that you probably remember from movies and you could probably find on your own, but then they definitely take you to some places that you probably can't find on your own, like the Friends apartment, the outside shot of the Friends apartment, and places like that. And then they have 2 show-specific ones for shows that filmed a lot in New York, and I've done both of them, and they are both wonderful, and it is Gossip Girl and Sex and the City. If you love either of those shows, I can't recommend this tour enough. It is so cool. And a lot of the places you get off and you get to go wander around and take pictures, and it was just, it was so much fun. I did them both with my mom and my best friend, and my sister came with us on the Gossip Girl one. We just had so much fun. And then they have like little interactive things. So like on the Sex and the City one, I remember we stopped and like drank a Cosmo at Steve and Aiden's bar that they have. We go to that bar. I forget what the bar's named in the show, but oh, Scout, right? Scout, that's the name of the bar. That's not what it's called. That's not what the actual bar is called. But we go to that bar and we sit and have a Cosmo, and that's like Sex and the City. In Gossip Girl, we got off at the Met, obviously, and took pictures at the Met steps. Where else did we get off in Gossip Girl? The school. We got to walk around the school, but I'm trying to think what was like interactive. Oh, we went to Dylan's Candy Bar, which I've been to Dylan's before, so that wasn't all that exciting. Okay, number 5. I didn't know how to like describe this, but the music culture of New York City. New York City is definitely known for its filming and its Broadway and its food. And when you think live music, New York City is usually not number 1 on your list, right? You probably think of Nashville, or you think of Austin, or maybe even LA. But New York City has so many great options for live music, and that's something that I love. It's one of the things that I love. From the guys in the subway, which, by the way, if you didn't know, in major subway stations like Times Square, Union Square, you actually have to not necessarily apply, but you have to be part of a program to perform in those stations. Like, so you can't just be some terrible person, like that's not talented. And so I mean, I love just having that music. And then there's a lot of other live music venues. So a big one in New York is obviously piano bars, and that sort of goes along with the Broadway theme. And there's a lot of great piano bars. You can Google them. My recommendation is a small hole in the wall. It is called Brandy's, and I love Brandy's. I stumbled upon it. So it is on like a side street. It's in the Upper East Side, and it is like on a side street. It's not on a main street. And unless somebody told you to go there, you probably wouldn't know to go there. And I found it because when you walk in New York, you usually walk the lights. Like when the light is green, you walk. I walked by it one day going somewhere else. It was the middle of the day. It wasn't open. And I sort of like peeked my head in, and I was like, this place looks kind of cool, piano bar. Oh, okay. And then my parents came to visit, and it was a Thursday night, and we had finished having dinner, and I was taking the next day off, and they obviously were on vacation. And I was like, we should go do something fun. And I was like, there's this piano bar in the neighborhood that I saw once, but I never actually went in. And I went in and changed my life. That sounds so dramatic. I just love Brandy's, and every time somebody comes to visit, I take them to Brandy's. And my tip for you though, especially if you're going on a weeknight, you should be fine. Although we went the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and it was pretty hopping. But on the weekends, you either are an early bird and you need to get there at 9, and then you will get a seat and the music starts at 9:30. If you are a late bird, then get there at like 11:30-ish, 11:30, 12. And that's sort of the transition where the people that got there early are kind of leaving, and then you can get in and get a seat. If you show up in between that, like between 10 and like 11:30, you might have to wait in line, like outside, because it is so small, and they have capacity, obviously, and it's just a tight squeeze. So just something to keep in mind if you are planning on going, but I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, 2 other live music venues that I would recommend. One is called Session 73, also in the Upper East Side. I mean, that is the neighborhood that I live in, so I'm gonna recommend a lot up here. But it is a sort of a band live venue, and the bands change every night. So I would check on the website and just make sure that it's a band that you would enjoy. But for the most part, most of the time, I would say 75% of the time that I've gone, it's like an 80s, 90s cover band. I mean, they're playing, you know, Jesse's Girl and Living on a Prayer, and maybe we'll dip our toe into the 90s a little bit, but it's like fun, classic, sing-along type band cover songs, like you're almost at a wedding kind of, or karaoke, but they're always really talented. But sometimes it is sort of more of a niche band, so just, again, look it up in advance. It's a huge bar. It is a huge bar. Even though it can get a little crowded on the weekends, it's still always just, it's always a good time. We always have a good time. That's actually the first bar, I guess it's not the first bar, actually, Sam and I ever went to together, but it was the night that we met. We ended up at that bar, and it was just fun. I don't know if he can hear me. He's watching a show with headphones. But that was one of the things that I first really liked about him, was that he liked to dance. That is such a deal breaker for me, is a guy that not necessarily can't dance, but doesn't like to get out on the dance floor, and he liked to get on the dance floor at that place. The other place I would recommend is called 54 Below, and you may have seen clips of this in a vlog when I talked about the a cappella show that Sam produced. It was at that venue, and this sort of also fits in like the Broadway category, I guess it could. It's sort of a live music / Broadway. It's like a cabaret venue. So they have food and drink, which is why I didn't feel like it fit with the Broadway, but they have performances and they have all kinds of unique stuff. I mean, they will have ones dedicated to bands. We went to Britney night one time, which was awesome. They will have ones dedicated to entire shows. They will have ones dedicated to a cappella. They will have one that is, we saw The Nightmare Before Christmas, like live there. It was awesome. So if you're coming to visit, look at what is there when you are here and just see if anything jumps out at you. Okay, number 6. I can't believe this is on my list. But one of the things that I love about New York, and this also applies to other big cities, so it's not fair to say that it's just New York, but it definitely has more recently become a big city thing, and I feel like it's always been a New York thing ever since I've moved here. And that is that there is a workout class, any type of workout class, literally around the corner. Like, there are so many options for cool, unique types of workouts. It's unreal. Now, again, I find the same thing in Chicago. When I was visiting my mom, who now lives in Lincoln Park, like there were so many options within walking distance, but I feel like it's been that way in New York forever. And I'm a ClassPass subscriber. I think I talked about ClassPass before on my channel, but if I haven't, it's a great option. Go look into it. They have it in almost every city. I'm gonna leave my link below. It's a referral link. I think I get $30 off and you get $30 off. I think that's what it is. But I'll leave it linked below if you're interested. It might be $40. It might be $40 for each of us. I don't know. But I love ClassPass, and it allows me to take all kinds of different workout classes at much more reasonable prices. And so I would check and see if it's in your city, and if you're a class person. Like, I am not as motivated to go to a gym and work out. Like, I just am not as good at that. So if you're a class person and you like doing classes, ClassPass is great. Anyways, the point of that is, I don't know if you're a person that works out on vacation, but if you are, and you're coming to New York, I'm gonna recommend some of my favorite unique workout studios that I have not found anywhere else. Well, actually, that's a lie. One of the ones I'm gonna recommend is a chain, but I'm gonna tell you why you should do it instead of another big chain that you would be tempted to do here. Okay, the first place I'm gonna recommend is a yoga studio, and it is called Y7, and it is hip hop yoga. I like yoga because I like stretching and I like the poses and the balance and the core work. I get bored sometimes in a normal yoga class. Sometimes they don't move at a quick enough pace for me and I can get kind of bored. I never get bored at Y7. It is awesome, and they have different locations, so depending on where you're staying, one might be closer to you than the other, but Y7, awesome. Okay, the next place I would recommend, if you love to dance or you love Broadway and you don't have to be good at dance, it is called Broadway Bodies. I've been going to this company for years now, and they have grown so much. They have their own studio now, and what I love about Broadway Bodies, minus the fact that it's always to great Broadway music, sometimes now they have incorporated some more pop stuff, but they always list the song that you're dancing to on the website, so you can make sure it's a song that you love before you go to the class. And it's a great workout, and it's just fun, and they don't care about your dance skills. That is not what it's about. They actually even have a saying that I'm not going to say here because it is not child appropriate, but they have a phrase that is about just not caring about the choreography and just do you, enjoy, get a workout, have fun. I just love it. So I would highly recommend that for anybody who likes to dance when you're here in New York. And the last place I'm going to recommend for working out is a spin studio. And I know everybody comes to New York and I'm going to do SoulCycle. I'm going to go try SoulCycle. And SoulCycle's great. It's expensive. And they don't give you free shoes. And it just, you feel a little like, nah, and there's no gauge on your bike. Like there's no way to know how fast you're going or like how you're doing. And it's just, I don't know. I didn't have a bad experience at SoulCycle, but I didn't love it. Flywheel, I love, and it's a chain. I went to one in Chicago too, and they have them in LA, and they have them in Austin, like, and it's great. Flywheel is awesome. What I love about it, it is A, not as expensive as SoulCycle. B, they give you free shoes included, and they have like a little gauge that tells you what your resistance is at, and then how fast you're going, and then you get points for like the combination of both of them and how long you're doing it. And then they put up on like a TV screen everybody in the class so you can like see where you're ranking. Now, I don't know how that works because I don't always show up when I sign up through ClassPass. Like I don't show up on the TV screen, which is fine. I don't need to, but I can compare myself and it motivates me to like see that I'm not like the last person on the list. Like I'm up a little bit in the middle. So anyways, that's just something that I really love about Flywheel. And again, it's a chain, so they might have it in your city and you should check it out. But if you're here in New York and you like spin, all right, that is it. Those are the top 6 things that I love about living in New York to celebrate my 6 years here. Who knows how many I'll eventually end up to. Next year, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna do like the 7 things I love about New York. I might switch it up a little bit. But if you liked this video, let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. If you have any other questions about coming to visit New York, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them if I didn't cover it in this video. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. I don't know how to say that word. So let's get off the recommendations. I already said that.